I'm Emily from Scotland. Ever since I was a kid, I've been sure of two things. I'm adopted, and my parents are big, fat liars. Also, I think I know who my real mom is. But before I continue, please like and subscribe. My sisters and I are triplets, except Daisy and Rose have red hair, green eyes, and freckles, just like my parents. But I'm blonde and blue-eyed. I look nothing like my family. On our third birthday, when my parents invited all the neighbors, everyone was staring at me like I was some exotic zoo animal.
Wow, she looks like an angel. So different from her sisters.
She's gorgeous! Kind of makes up for the other two, eh? Just then, my sisters came charging at me with a ketchup bottle and squirted it all over my head. There, now you look more like us. I also discovered soon that my sisters were super dumb, so we couldn't be related. Once I told them if they buried their pocket money, a whole tree would come out, and they did! Months later, when they said their money wasn't growing, I burst out laughing, and they attacked me. You awful witch! I wish you were our sister! I'm not, you fools! I'm adopted! My parents looked like I'd slapped them.
Who taught you that word, Emily? Do you know what it means?
Mom, Dad, I read books, and I'm not stupid.
Stop reading rubbish. You're our daughter, and that's the truth.
But I wasn't buying it. I was always imagining who my real parents might be, and if they'd come for me someday. Someone rich and famous, I hoped. In the 7th grade, I was reading in the lounge one day when my sisters walked in with suitcases. You were right, Emily. You are adopted, and your real mom's here for you. What are you talking about? Haven't you seen the lady who's moved in next door? She looks exactly like you. So take your things and leave. I just ignored those morons. But suddenly, they grabbed me by my arms and legs and threw me out. I was banging furiously on the door when I heard someone behind me.
Oh, hello. I'm your new neighbor.
When I turned around, we both gasped. Oh my God! This woman did look like me! She was staring at me like I was a ghost. Suddenly, she turned and ran away. What just happened? I had to find out more about her. I tried spying on her with binoculars, but her curtains were always closed. One day, I baked some cookies and took them to her as a welcome present, but no one opened the door. As I was walking away, I saw her looking at me from a window. Was she avoiding me? One evening at the library, I was so lost in my book that I didn't realize it was so late. I started walking home, but as I went further, everything looked unfamiliar. I was feeling a bit lost and scared, when suddenly a toothless woman jumped out of an alley and grabbed my wrist. What a pretty girl you are! Just like me! Let's go home. Let go of me, you mad cow! That's no way to talk to your mother! Just then, an egg came flying out of nowhere and hit the woman in the eye. She yelled in pain, and I turned around to see my neighbor hitting her with more eggs. The crazy woman ran away, cursing us. I thanked my neighbor for saving me, and she said she'd take me home. As we were walking back, she suddenly spoke. I'm sorry I ran away that day. I was just a bit startled because you remind me of someone. I'm Gladys. Just then, Gladys saw the book in my hand, and it turned out she was a huge Shakespeare fan too. She invited me in for dinner, and we talked about books for hours. This woman could totally be my mom. The next night, I'd just fallen asleep when I woke up gasping as water hit my face. Wake up, sleeping moron! The neighbor's here to take you away! Wait, what? I ran downstairs and peeked into the study to find Mom screaming at Gladys.
Are you crazy? Emily's our daughter. We don't want you to talk to her. Just stay away from her, lady, or else. Now get out of my house.
Gladys ran out in tears, and I was stunned. What weren't they telling me? Could Gladys really be my mom? The next morning at breakfast, as Mom and Dad were acting completely normal, I snapped and pushed my cereal bowl off the table. Are you just gonna keep lying to me forever? Why was Gladys here last night? And what are you hiding? I already know I'm adopted. So why can't you just say it? Is she my mom?
You are not adopted! You listen to me, Emily. I don't know what that woman's been telling you, but she is crazy. You are not to go near her ever again. Understood?
I kicked my chair aside and stormed off. Gladys hadn't even told me anything, but I was surely gonna ask her now. That night, once everyone was asleep, I climbed out my window and landed softly below. The second I turned around, I screamed and fell back in fright. Mom was sitting on a lawn chair, trying to kill me with her cold stare.
If you don't stay away from Gladys, I'll tell the police she's dangerous and I'll get a restraining order. If you don't want me to do that, I suggest you climb back up that window right now.
I wasn't gonna argue with her. She looked like a psycho. I had no chance to meet Gladys because Mom was watching me like a hawk. But thankfully, summer break ended soon and I could finally leave the house. My sisters and I had joined a new middle school, and as soon as we entered the building, Daisy and Rose suddenly pinned me against the wall. Just stay away from us here, okay? Don't tell anyone that we are related to you. I was about to spit at them when suddenly a bunch of boys surrounded us and pulled the two away.
Why are you tomato heads hurting the prettiest girl in the school? You want us to throw them in the trash, Goldilocks?
I told the boys to let them go this once, and my sisters gave me death stares as they stormed off. But these boys were just stuck to me like glue all day. They were offering to carry my bag, make my notes in class. At recess, I excused myself for the bathroom and sprinted off to the library instead. I needed some peace. As I walked in, I bumped straight into someone with a tall pile of books, and I saw who was behind them. Gladys?
Emily, what are you doing here?
It turned out she was the school librarian. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Listen, I really need to know what you and my parents...
No, Emily, stop. I can't talk to you. I think it's best if you stay away from me. I'm sorry.
And with that, she hurried away. Arr! I was losing my mind. But I wasn't giving up so easily. I went back the next day and walked up to her desk. I won't ask you any questions, I promise. But can we please just be friends again? I'll only talk about books. Gladys slowly smiled at me, and after that, we started hanging out every day. My dumb sisters would never set foot in a library, so I was safe. And I would slowly get closer to Gladys and the truth. One day she invited me to play, so I told Mom I'd be working on a science project with my group, and we spent an amazing evening together. Later at dinner, I told her about this shy boy Jonas in my class I wanted to ask out on Valentine's Day, and she smiled. Of course, you have to do with the Shakespeare sonnet. There's nothing more romantic. Thanks, Gladys. Later that night, I practiced the sonnet in my room. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more... Just then, Mom walked in and asked me what I was doing, and I told her I was working on asking out a boy.
With a freaking sonnet? Who needs Shakespeare when you have Taylor Swift? Just say to him, if you could see that I'm the one who understands you, been here all along, so why can't you see? You belong with me, you belong with me.
And she was doing dance moves that made me laugh so hard. Mom was funny.
Let's go shopping tomorrow, and I'll buy you a dress to knock this boy's socks off.
We did, and we had such a fun time together. I came home with bags of clothes and shoes, and my sisters' faces turned as red as their hair. I had to admit, I was enjoying this two moms thing. And, well, I did ask Jonas out simply by saying, "Wanna go out with me?" And he said yes. That was easy. A few weeks later, I heard a loud tap on my window at night, and Jonas was standing outside. I let him in, and we started making out in the dark. Just then my door flung open, and someone came flying at us, knocking us down to the ground.
What are you trying to do now? Kidnap my daughter?
Mom, get off of him! It's just my boyfriend!
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I saw someone walking across the garden and I panicked. Come downstairs, boy. I'll give you a cookie.
But Jonas screamed like a little girl and ran out the window at lightning speed. I was so mad at Mom for scaring him off. When I told Gladys all about it the next day, she said, "Oh, you and Jonas can always come to my house whenever you want to, hang out." We took her up on the offer one evening, and she let us in through the back door. As we went to one of the rooms upstairs and started kissing, my eyes suddenly fell on a photo frame. It was Gladys with a toddler, who looked so much like me. Was it me? She gave me up when I was 2 or 3 years old? Why didn't I remember anything? Just then, I saw something much worse. The curtains were freaking open, and someone was staring right at us from my house. My stupid sisters! They grinned at me and ran off immediately. Oh no! Seconds later, I heard screams from downstairs. I ran downstairs to find Mom and Gladys rolling around on the ground, pulling each other's hair.
I told you to stay away from my daughter!
She's also my daughter! Why don't you let her decide? I think she likes me more. Just stop this, you guys! I need answers, now!
All you need to know is that I'm your mother.
No, I am! Oh my god! I need DNA tests from you both! And they both refused and started fighting again. This was ridiculous. I charged straight at them and I pulled a few hairs out of their heads. Ow! I'm getting the test done, and then I'll know. As I was running out the door, they both screamed.
Okay, I'm not your mother.
I turned around in shock. Now suddenly they both weren't my mothers? And finally, they started telling me the truth. My mom said that I was her sister's daughter.
We both had kids around the same time, but she felt really sick after giving birth to you, and she made me swear that I never let you know you're not mine.
And you are mine. Emily, you're my blood. My eyes swelled up when I found out my real mom was gone. And who are you, Gladys? Suddenly, she broke down into tears. I had a daughter who looked just like you, but she had an accident a few years ago, and when I met you, it felt like I had my baby back. I tried to stay away from you, but I couldn't. That night, I came to ask your parents if I could adopt you, and of course, they refused. I just miss my daughters so much. As I looked at them both, I realized they'd both lost people they dearly loved, and I could make them both hurt a little less. I love you, Mom, and I'm sure you're as good as Mom as my own would have been. And Gladys, I love you too, and you can always think of me as your daughter. Well, now I finally know who my real mom is. And I've got two really amazing ones too. And turns out, I am related to my sisters. They're just my dumb cousins now.
My face. I didn't want the surveillance cameras to catch any footage of me. Otherwise, my cover will be blown and my parents will know where I'm hiding. While I was waiting in line to pay, I looked at the TV that was behind the cashier and heard the reporter reporting about a missing girl. Me. She had shown my picture and asked people to cooperate if they knew any information that could help find me. I got nervous. I paid for what I bought and got out, making sure not to make any eye contact with anyone in the supermarket. I headed to the place where I was hiding, Mrs. Jenny's house, the old lady who lives next door. She's been away for a while visiting her son who lives in another state, and I snuck into her place. It turned out to be the perfect hiding place. Neither of my parents nor the police thought of searching it. I got to the house and went through the kitchen's back door. I made sure not to turn any lights on so no one would notice that someone was living here. I slightly pulled the curtains and checked our house. Everything was normal, for now at least. Oh, you're asking why I'm doing this? It all started a month ago at my high school. Suddenly, being popular was about having expensive stuff. And by expensive, I mean really expensive. Things only my friend Tess could afford because her dad was a millionaire. She bought this designer bag that cost $20,000 and brought it to school. All the girls wanted to take a picture of it, and all the boys wanted to flirt with Tess because they thought she would shower them with gifts. You know, since she's got the money. And it worked. Tess started dating James, the most popular boy at school. I was jealous. Actually, all the girls were jealous. So they started doing the same, buying expensive stuff and showing them off, hoping it'll catch a guy's attention, or any attention for that matter. But I couldn't do the same. My parents were far from being rich. They worked really hard and barely made it from month to month. I knew I couldn't do anything about it. Yet, one day, while we were in the sports class, Anna, an old enemy of mine, called me out. So, Karen, how come we've never seen you bragging about something? Are you homeless? I was caught off guard by her nasty comment. I felt all the girls turn their heads to look at me. My face turned red. I wasn't sure if it was from anger or pure embarrassment, but I managed to say, I choose not to. I've got standards, you know. Anna laughed sarcastically. Yeah, right, Mother Teresa. We all know it's because you're poor. You've got nothing. I should have just let her comment slide and not make a big deal out of it. But oh no, she woke the giant in me. I couldn't keep my mouth shut, so I responded, Oh yeah? Just watch me. Anna responded, Oh, I will, homeless girl. I went home feeling defeated. What did I just get myself into? How will I prove her wrong? I literally got nothing. I tried convincing Mom. I begged her to get me $200 to buy a fake designer jacket. She looked at me as if I was the craziest person in the world. $200 for a jacket? Are you insane? Do you know how many hours I worked to get that money? And before she finished her lecture about working hard and appreciating every penny I get, I went to my room, slamming the door behind me. She didn't understand how hard it was to be a high school student. She knew nothing about the social judgment there. The next day, I pretended to be sick. I didn't want to go to school and face Anna or tolerate her nasty comments. Mom left me in bed. She was too tired to argue with me in the morning. Later, I went to get some breakfast, and just as I was about to open the fridge, I saw Dad's credit card on the kitchen counter. My eyes popped out and my heart started beating fast. I hesitated at first. Dad would kill me if I bought something with it, but I couldn't stop myself from thinking, couldn't it be a sign that I should use it? I mean, my dad never forgot his credit card before. The timing was strange and perfect at the same time. Maybe the universe knew the suffering I've been going through and decided to offer some help. I took the credit card and went online. I logged into a site for secondhand items, and after so much scrolling, I made up my mind to buy this $300 designer handbag. It looked unique with that owl picture sewn on its back with these shiny, colorful beads. I filled in the billing information and pressed confirm, and oh my God, just like that, it was mine. The website assured me that the bag will be delivered in 2 days. I was ecstatic. Finally, I would be like most of the girls at my school. Anna wouldn't pick on me anymore. I put the credit card back in its place and went on with my day. But something strange happened. The next day while I was getting ready for school, I got a message on my phone saying, "The bag you purchased is not for sale. Cancel your order right now. You'll get a refund." I looked at the number. It was so strange. It had way more digits than it should and too many zeros. It must be a joke. I Googled the number and got nothing. Tons of people buy stuff online every day. Maybe it was not for me. If it were, they would have sent me an email, wouldn't they? So I just brushed it off my mind and I went to school with so much pride, looking into Anna's eyes like I was a beast now. Just you wait 2 more days and I'll make sure you wish you were dead. However, later that day, I got another message. It said, "Be ready to face the consequences. It's your choice. We'll come to your house and take the bag." My blood ran cold. Was it a real threat? If they know my house, who knows what they can do to me? Or my parents? I kept thinking while going hysterical in my room. I heard the doorbell and I freaked out. I went to answer it. I looked through the door's eyes and saw the delivery man. The bag has arrived. I opened the door, got the bag, and signed quickly while looking left and right to see if anyone was watching. Then I closed the door and went upstairs to check it. The bag looked like a normal bag. I opened it and looked inside, flipped it over, checked its pockets, but nothing came out. Why would they want it back? However, the messages wouldn't stop. Whoever was sending them kept threatening me that he'll do something to me. So I decided to disappear. Oh no, I didn't want to send the bag back. I just got it and I fell in love with it, and it would take 2 days for them to get it. And I didn't want to tell my parents the truth. Dad didn't notice that his credit card was used. He wouldn't know about it until the next month. Why would I expose myself? He would ground me. I'm not ready for it. Plus, I'm already curious. I need to know why they need to take the bag. At midnight, I had already made up my mind to live a while with Mrs. Jenny's. I packed some of my things and left the house as quietly as possible. I made sure not to make any sound and I barged in Mrs. Jenny. I knew she kept the kitchen door open for her dog. And that was 2 days ago. I turned off my cell phone so no one could call me and kept watching the house. My parents freaked out and I saw the police arrive at our place to run an investigation, but I remained still. The first day went by while me checking the house. Nothing strange happened except for my parents not going to work, which pissed me off. I mean, I was hiding to observe and protect them, but now they're making it harder for me. The second day was boring as hell. I kept on watching. My parents were still looking for me, but the whole situation seemed calm. I was getting really hungry. Mrs. Jenny didn't really have the kind of food I would eat. So I put on my hoodie and cap and went to the convenience store to get some snacks. And that's when I saw the news report. I made myself a big bowl of ramen noodles and sat behind the window. I took out the phone in my pocket and turned it on. It's been 2 days since I opened it. The minute I unlocked it, I got tons of notifications, missed calls, messages, and mentions all over my social media accounts. I had it on airplane mode and turned off the Wi-Fi. I checked Twitter first, and a new hashtag caught my eye. It was #HopeYouAreSafe. I started scrolling through the tweets and saw that many of my classmates had pictures of me with captions like, "Our heart goes out to you, Scarlett, praying that you are alive and well." Whoa, I didn't know that I mattered that much to them. Tess had maybe 200 tweets asking people to help. I scrolled down some more until I got to Jonathan's tweet. Jonathan was my lab partner. We only talked in class and did our projects together, and that was it. But to my surprise, he confessed his love in his tweet. He wrote, "I didn't have the courage to say it before, but if you ever come back, I'll let you know." Was he kidding? 2 days of me missing and now I have a secret admirer like some kind of Hollywood actress? Why was he hiding? I was overwhelmed and kind of happy with all the attention I felt, so I decided to stay away for a little longer. I mean, the person who threatened me hadn't shown up yet, and I secretly wanted to see where this was going. I stayed a week at Mrs. Jenny's house. I watched my house, but I got obsessed with checking social media. I wanted to read every post they had about me. Yet, surprisingly, it all started going down on day 6. People started going back to their lives. They stopped posting, and it was like they forgot about me. Then, one morning, I saw my mother coming back to the house. She looked tired and lost a ton of weight. She had dark circles around her eyes. My heart was broken to see her looking like this. Have I gone too far with the whole thing? I sat down on the couch. I was on the verge of tears. I wanted to cry my lungs out, and I couldn't stay still. I got my things and went home. I knocked on the door and waited patiently for my mom and dad to open it up. My mom opened it, and when she saw me, she almost fainted. She started hugging and kissing me. She was Mom had a scary look, so Dad had to confess. Oh, honey, she used my credit card to buy a $300 bag. I had to teach her a lesson. I didn't know she'd take it that serious and run out of the house. Mom was pissed. She started yelling at my dad while he tried to calm her down, and out of nowhere, I started laughing. I laughed so hard at this. It was all one big lie. Then they joined me. I couldn't remember the last time I saw my parents looking happy like this. 2 weeks later, the buzz about me went down. Dad told the police that I came home safe and sound. The police made sure not to leak any other information since I was not 18 yet. But I learned my lesson. My parents wanted me to keep the bag, but I insisted on returning it back. I didn't want to get any fake attention. At school, Tess, my only friend, was thrilled to see me. Mom told me how she came to visit them every day while I was missing to ask about me. Anna stopped bugging me, and Jonathan turned out to be honest. He truly had feelings for me. He asked me on a date, and I said yes.